everybody? It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now some quick sports. A'ja Wilson becomes the first WNBA player in history with 30 points, 20 rebounds, a double-double. She finished with 32 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals.
Come on, man.
And they beat the Connecticut Sun 94-86. So congratulations to A'ja Wilson.
South Carolina icon right there, okay? The face of the WNBA, best women's basketball player on the planet. Is not even close. Stop playing with her.
Now, what's up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey. All right, y'all. So this coming Friday, President Trump is set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said that Friday's meeting between Trump and Putin could be an important step to ending the war in Ukraine. Now, Rutte spoke about the implications in an interview with ABC's This Week and said the meeting will have several key points. Let's hear more from NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
Next Friday will be important because it will be about testing Putin, how serious he is on bringing this terrible war to an end. It will be about territory. It will be, of course, about security guarantees, but also about the absolute need to acknowledge that Ukraine decides on its own future, that Ukraine has to be a sovereign nation, deciding on its own geopolitical future.
Yes, so Rutte went on to say that President Trump, is ready to end conflict. Trump didn't say where in the state the meeting will be held, but further details will follow. He will also he also did not say if Ukrainian President Zelensky will be involved in this particular meeting, but he did indicate that both want to meet with him very soon. So we will see how that.
It's not a real meeting then. Like you can't talk about bringing peace between two people if both those people aren't at the table. The USA and Russia not at war. Russia and Ukraine are at war. So, shouldn't Zelensky be at the meeting with Putin?
He should, but sometimes you got to talk to one side first, and then you get. But then again, it's like we've been talking to both sides, right? So.
And by the way, when you want peace,
did they try that last time?
Yes, they have. They have already tried one side and the other, and then
And let's be clear, one country started this. Russia is who started this.
Mm-hmm. So. It is important to have that meeting with, I guess that is important, mostly important to have the meeting with Putin because he's the one who started it, right?
Yeah, maybe Zelensky don't want to go. Zelensky is like, I don't need to be there. Just tell him stop.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, y'all. So moving on today, President Trump will hold a news conference on what will be what he calls beautification of crime, or he's going to hold a news conference on crime and beautification is what he calls it. So in a post on Truth Social on Sunday, the president said the news conference will not only involve ending the crime, murder, and death in our nation's capital, he's referring to Washington, D.C., but also about cleanliness and the general physical renovation and condition of our once beautiful and well-maintained capital. He went on to take aim at the renovation of the Federal Reserve Building, saying it could have been done in a far more elegant and time-sensitive manner for less money. He also criticized D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and said she has tried but has been given many chances to get D.C. He also called it dirty. He said only for D.C. to get dirtier and less attractive. He basically saying he's given the mayor many chances to get it together, and D.C.'s only gotten dirtier and less attractive. And all this comes as the Trump administration is sending the FBI now on night patrols in Washington, D.C. The Washington Post is reporting over 100 FBI agents are being deployed for night-long shifts to assist D.C. law enforcement in the help with carjackings and violent crime. So Trump posted that message also on Truth Social, saying he featured a photo of a bloodied former DOJ employee who was assaulted from an attempted carjacking, saying crime in D.C. was out of control. So Trump will speak from the White House briefing room at 10 a.m. Eastern today regarding the nation's capital and how he's pretty much, sending in all of the heavy agents, the heavy authorities to take control of the nation's capital and crime.
He hasn't deployed National Guard yet, right? I saw people saying that on social media yesterday, but I didn't see that confirmed nowhere.
Not yet, but I will be honest and say that there is a council member, Trayon White, who is in one of the roughest parts of the city representing Ward 8, Southeast D.C., who is actually in favor of the Trump administration deploying the National Guard because he's just tired of, the violence that's happening there. And then, of course, how that impacts families and, young kids are dying as a result of it. So he's in favor of the National Guard coming in and just, pretty much cleaning up the city to Trump's points. So.
And
Morgan, he told the homeless to leave D.C. Like he warned them, like all the homeless people in D.C. to leave.
Yeah.
He wants to get off the street. He said they're gonna have a place for them. They're gonna get a place for them, but he wants people off the streets. That's what he said.
Yeah, he wants to pretty much clean up the city, and it's and to his point. I mean, that's not a bad thing to want, right? But
I get it, but
it's about how you go about doing it. Yeah.
Like there used to be shelters. There used to be places for people to go. There used to be like mental facilities, because all of them are not even right in their mind. You know what I mean? To go.
That's right.
Anyway, you can't just say, all right, y'all got to go. Go where? Where we going to go?
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of that, a lot of those resources have been cut. So to your point, where are they going to go? But that's what I'm going to continue to pay attention to. It's not a bad thing that he wants to clean up the city. It's a matter of how he goes about doing it. Yeah. In other news, Vice President J.D. Vance is defending GOP-led redistricting efforts in Texas, saying they're necessary to ensure fair representation. In an interview with Fox Sunday Morning Futures, Vance claimed that Democrats have tried to rig the game in their favor for years, and that the Republican efforts to redraw congressional maps is essential to restore balance. Let's take a listen to Vice President J.D. Vance on this Texas Dems drama.
We're just trying to rebalance the scales and, frankly, push back against a very unfair system created by the Democrats. They have tried to rig the game for Democrats and against Republicans. And thankfully, under President Trump's leadership, you finally see some spine.
So his comments come after Texas Democrats, of course, have left the state and the state house, trying to keep the state house from having a minimum of number of members to reach that quorum in order to proceed with those votes. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he's ramping up pressure on those Democrats who left the state. In an interview with Fox News Sunday, Abbott says the threat of arrest for the lawmakers will remain in place as long as necessary, adding that those Democratic lawmakers violated their oath of office. Let's take a listen to Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
If they show back up in the state of Texas, they will be arrested and taken to the Capitol. If they want to evade that arrest, they're going to have to stay outside of the state of Texas for literally years. The law in Article 3 of the Texas Constitution, where they are required to act on bills because they're violating that constitutional mandate, that means they are not fulfilling their oath of office, and they can be removed from office.
So Abbott went on to say it's within his authority to keep the Texas legislature in a special session indefinitely. Democratic lawmakers, again, have left the state of Texas to keep Republicans from having the quorum needed to redraw those states' congressional maps in their favor. And for my last story, former President Obama's official portrait at the White House is now reportedly out of view from thousands of White House visitors. It used to be right there in the front. Right there in the front. If you're walking through the front door, it would have been right there on the left. But now, according to CNN, which obtained a photo of the Obama portrait, is now hanging in the corner at the top of a stairwell of the grand staircase. So that's basically an area that, if you're walking through the White House, if you're going on a tour, you're not going to be able to see it. So the portraits of
probably happened. It was probably too many people taking pictures next to it. When they did all those tours, people were probably so excited. 'Cause I even got a picture next to it. So he was probably mad that all those people took a picture. He probably put his there. He probably put his portrait.
Y'all post y'all pictures with the presidential photo. No, but the portraits of former President George W. Bush and former President George H.W. Bush have also been moved. CNN reports says that the moves were directed, of course, by President Trump, and the area where those portraits are now displayed is heavily restricted to the first family, Secret Service agents, and a limited number of White House staff. So basically, if you're coming through the White House for a tour, I'm not sure what you'll be able to see. I'm trying to remember what's there. Kennedy. What's
always so interesting about Donald Trump is that he knows how to demonize people the way the media should actually demonize him. Because if you're accusing President Obama of treason, you would move his picture too, if that's the picture you're trying to paint about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's his house right now. It's the people's house, but he has the authority to move stuff around and have in it, the hanging on the wall, what he wants hanging on the wall, and where. So
and he knows how to villainize and demonize people. Meanwhile, President Obama's at President Carter's funeral, showing all his teeth, laughing and kikiing with Trump. Meanwhile, Trump is accusing you of treason and saying you need to get your black ass locked up and moving your picture out the way because he doesn't want an alleged treasonous picture sitting at the front of the White House.
Charlamagne.
Yeah, but I also play. We play too nice, right? If a Democratic president comes in next, they're not going to move Trump's portrait. They're not going to put Trump's portrait in the bathroom. They're not going to put it near the stairs. They're going to leave it right where it is. We don't play the same level that they play on.
Who is we? You a Democrat?
Oh, no, I'm independent. Sorry.
Oh, you sorry? We. Who is we?
Yeah.
We.
All right, come on with the wee.
Hey, yo. All right, y'all. That's your front page note. Front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Y'all can follow me on socials at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank you.
Wake that ass up
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.